Greetings, one and all, wherever you are in the universe, metaverse, or rainbow. Welcome to an Espresso Shot of Confidence, the podcast that explores all aspects of confidence, challenges taboos and unhelpful narratives, and empowers you to be awesome loudly and proudly. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, grab a drink and settle in for the next however long this episode is. I'm your host, the Master of Awesomeness, Ashley Griffiths, and today we will be talking about confidence in the modern world. We live in crazy times, really crazy times, right? There's a lot of fears, a lot of doubts, a lot of wars, a lot of miscommunications, depression, anxiety, stress, disconnection. Are all things that are increasing at the moment. The COVID pandemic certainly didn't help. But that's just expedited things, in my opinion. People were starting to feel disconnected way before this happened. People were feeling more miserable, more alone, less competent, less able. And the reason for that is because we live in a society where we're often encouraged to do more, to be better, to buy more. In the modern world that we live in, we're surrounded by messages telling us that we need to improve, that we need to look younger, look thinner, have more hair, have more followers, have more stuff. And this all leads to this constant search for bigger, better, more. We need more stuff in our life. We need more clients. We need to buy more clothes. We need more makeup. We need to study more. It's more, and it's exhausting. And the obvious impact of that is then when the results don't come, when we don't feel happier, when we don't have more clients, when we don't have that new partner that's going to ride it off into the sunset with us in a happy ending straight out of Hollywood, we start questioning ourselves. We start questioning our competence. We start questioning our ability. We start questioning who we are and what we're all about. But for me, I think we're often asking the wrong questions of ourselves and possibly pursuing the things that don't truly make us happy, the things that don't light us up. And in this episode, I'm going to look at 3 of the main offenders that I think destroy people's confidence and belief in who they are and what they have to offer. And I suggest some alternatives for you to start moving forwards in a way that feels much more authentic, much more natural, much more aligned with who you are and what you stand for. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you exhibit number 1. Social media, I'm looking at you. Social media really represents in all its glory, all its depravity, all its quirks and synchronicities and eccentricities and all of that really represents what it's like to live in the modern world. We're increasingly living on our screens. We're increasingly living in a virtual world. There are lots of advantages to this. If you're a business owner, you have now got access to a global market. You can run a business. You can promote a business from the comfort of your own home. This is an amazing opportunity that many business owners are taking advantage of. During the pandemic, it became a great way to connect with people, connect with new communities as people tried to make sense of the shit show that was going on around them, the chaos. People came together in new ways, new communities. I saw so much positivity on social media during the pandemic. One example that I thought was absolutely amazing was this group, live music performance group, and they would do performances every single week. And eventually it just became this massive thing, and they got people from all over the world to perform, and it entertained, it brought people together with the power of music. It was fantastic. But sadly, from a confidence point of view, from a personal point of view, from a self-esteem point of view, social media can do so much damage. Say you're a business owner, say you're on LinkedIn. You're constantly surrounded by messages of people that are being successful, people that have got clients coming out of every single orifice and pore of their body. You've got people that buy Lamborghinis for breakfast. You're surrounded by magic bullets, loads and loads of systems that will work for only $1 million. And you're surrounded by these messages constantly. You can't avoid them. You're going to see them in ads. Ads, they're all over social media telling you that I've got this system. I've got this method. This will work for you. I used to, once upon a time, I used to live in a shack in my parents' garden. I was broke. I hated the world. Then one day I had this idea. I went on social media. I promoted it. And in 2 weeks, I was a millionaire living in the Maldives. You get the picture, right? You're constantly surrounded by that. Now, this is the thing with social media. Social media is a highlight reel. People show you what they want you to see. Some people will be more authentic with it. They'll give you the warts and all. But a lot of the time, you're just surrounded by bullshit. Let's call it for what it is. It's just complete bullshit. And if you buy into that, you start to diminish what you do, what you offer, your 5 clients. You start questioning and think, I need more. I need more than those 5 clients. Now, a better question would be asking, those 5 clients, do you enjoy working with them? Does working with those 5 clients supply you with the lifestyle that you want? Do you feel happy getting up in the morning working with those 5 clients? Yes. Do you have time to do the things you want to do? Then why the fuck do you need 500 clients? You really don't. So you see, there's this disconnect. We start looking at what's going on out there. We start thinking about, oh, well, all these people, they've got all these things. I really need them. I need more clients. I need all of this. And we lose sight of the things that truly matter to us. And it's easy to do that. It's easy to do that. Especially, when there's a lot of external pressures there. If you're worried about finances or anything like that, it's easy to kind of buy into this narrative that you need to be more like that influencer. You need to be more like that successful entrepreneur. But do you really? My advice to anybody who goes on social media is, are you there to be an influencer? Are you there to create a multi-million-dollar empire? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself, and deep down, do you really want to do any of that shit? And if the answer is no, then why the hell are you trying to do it? And this is where the confidence comes from. The confidence to show up as you, to reach the objectives that make sense for you. Just because some influencer is telling you that you have to be on social media 500 hours a day doesn't mean that you have to. You do what works for you. You do what works for your business, for your family, that aligns with your values and gets you to where you need to go. If you need to be on, if it makes sense for you to be on social media all the time, then be on bloody social media all the time. If it doesn't, don't feel like you have to. Don't feel that, okay, well, they're posting all the time. Let's think about some of these influencers, right? The things that they probably don't tell you is when they get to a certain point, and this is the same for any business. When a business gets to a certain point, you start hiring people. You start hiring people. So do you honestly think that every single one of these influencers are on their online 24/7? Absolutely not. They've got a team of people doing that for them. They probably got content writers. They probably got a team of people that work on the engagement strategy. So this is the thing with social media. You don't you don't always know what's going on. You see things, yes. But is that the whole truth? It's just a snapshot. It's just a snapshot. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. When we use terms like successful, when we look at that, when we think about that, what is success, right? What is success? So we look at the people on social media and go, okay, well, they're eating at fancy restaurants and they've got millions of followers and they get loads of likes and comments every single day in their content. They're constantly telling us about the fact that they've got millions, that they've just done a launch and they've got 100 people signed up for it and they're the most successful business ever. And okay, maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. Maybe they're exaggerating. If that's true for them and that's their success, then fair play to them. Let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate them, but possibly use them as an inspiration, move forwards in your business if that's aligned to what you want. However, what's going on behind the scenes? What is really happening there? How many hours are they putting in to get that? Are they stressed? Are they depressed? Are they burnt out? Are they just bullshitting? So my advice to you when you go on social media is to not be a cynic, but to take things with a pinch of salt. And also, when you go on there, remember your values. Remember your goals. What are your goals? We often hear about this magical, oh, I made 10 grand or 100 grand a week, figures thrown around. Do you want to make that amount of money? Does it make sense for you? Do you want to do the amount of work that you're going to need to do to make that amount of money? If not, then don't bloody do it. Focus on what works for you. On the social media, show up in a way that makes sense to you. Talk to your people. And you set your goals. You set what is success to you. And just start ignoring that other stuff. It's just white noise. Which leads me nicely into exhibit number 2. Shoulds, musts, have tos. I'm not going to dwell too much on this because I'm going to do another episode on this later in the future. These words are on my word shit list. They're words that absolutely destroy confidence. They absolutely batter it. And you're going to see them every time you go on social media, every time you go online, every time you probably turn on the TV, you're going to hear, well, you should be doing this. You should be doing that. You've got to do this. You need to be doing this. Why the fuck are you not done this? And all of it's wrapped up in lovely magic bullet BS systems. Take this pill and life will be good. You're going to lose all the weight and all your problems will go away. Give me $900 and I will give you the keys to the kingdom. This magic system will get you growing clients out of plant pots. Okay. Every single day when you go on a social media anywhere, you got these messages. They're constantly telling you that you need to do things, that if you're not doing them, you're never going to get success. If you fail to do certain things, you will never, ever get the clients you want. You'll never be happy. I find these messages extremely negative. They are wrapped up in scarcity. They're not empowering. All they do is accentuate these feelings of inadequacy, feelings of lack, feelings of scarcity, to get you to feel that you're missing something. You're missing something that you have to have. And if you don't do it, your life will be over. And that just destroys confidence. Absolutely destroys confidence. Because you lose sight of what it is that you really want. And as I mentioned earlier, you start to take actions that maybe are not aligned. They're not aligned with what you truly want, who you are, and your goals. So you start doing things that possibly don't fit. But because you've been persuaded that you have to do it, that this is the only way, you take actions that are not aligned. And because you go into that situation not feeling empowered, not feeling engaged, knowing deep down that it's really not the right decision for you, it ends up being a failure. You end up wasting money. You end up not getting the results that you were promised by this magic bullet BS system. And it feels like you've been punched in the stomach because you internalize it. You start questioning yourself. You start questioning your competence. You start going, I'll never have the job of my dreams. I'll never have the business of my dreams. I'm never going to hit my financial goals. When in actual fact, you just chose a program that didn't work for you. There were probably lessons that you can learn from it. There may even be some transferable skills or transferable knowledge that you can take from that system. But ultimately, at that time, it wasn't the right system for you. But you went into it because you bought into the feelings of lack and the fact that you wanted to possibly, let's call it what it is, wanted to take a shortcut. You wanted to get somewhere quicker. And this is perfectly normal. As humans, we do that. By nature, we want instant gratification. We want to feel validated instantly. But the challenge is always to delay that gratification. My advice to you when it comes to all of these shoulds, coulds, woulds, couldn't haves, and all that jazz is think about what you truly want. Think about what it is that you want to achieve in your business. Think about your goals. Think about where you want the business to go and listen to your gut. I know it sounds cliched, but the more that you do it, the more that you truly listen to your gut and think, yeah, I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling this. The more you'll get aligned with it and you'll be able to go, no, that choice isn't for me right now. That's not going to move the needle right now. It takes time because, like I said, as humans, we're always searching for instant gratification. But the more that we do it, the more we'll be confident. The more we'll be confident in our ability to make choices. We'll be making more aligned action, which again enables us to feel more confident in who we are and what we offer. We'll be leaning more into our self-belief. We'll back ourselves when the time is right, and we'll be able to start making more empowered decisions. Awesome. So let me come on to exhibit number 3. Shady marketing campaigns. I saw something the other day and it really kind of upset me a lot, actually. It was an advert by Dove, and there were a lot of kids, predominantly young girls. But I know this also afflicts males as well. And They were looking at camera, they were looking online, they were seeing pictures of people with perfect skin, the perfect facial features, the perfect body shape. And they were questioning themselves. They thought that there was something wrong with them. And as a result, they were hurting themselves or going on these crazy diets to try and look like these influencers. And in the advert, Dove were raising awareness of this, and it's scary, really, that every day when I'm on TV, God help us if I was on TV, but every single day when I see marketing adverts on TV, there's all these adverts about ways to look younger. After Christmas, just saw so many adverts for Slimming World and Slim Fast and Weight Watchers and all of that stuff. And I was like, for fuck's sake, let people enjoy their goddamn Christmases first. It was the first Christmas people could actually have, full on Christmas they could have for a couple of years. Let them get into January first before you start hitting them with the guilt. And this is what a lot of advertising does. It tells us that we need something. It creates this false need, when in fact it's just a want. We want to look like that. It's not a need. We don't need it. We don't need to have makeup to survive. We don't need makeup to be amazing, to be a confident person. But this is the nature of society. We've been told that it does, and we've heard those messages a lot. So we believe it to be true. It's all very Orwellian, and we see it all the time in the business world. And I've already touched on this earlier in the episode. We're always told that your business isn't successful because you've only got 5 clients. Like if you've got 100 clients, then you're successful. That's someone else's measure of success. But what a lot of people do with these schemes is they create this false need. They create these narratives. They use storytelling because ultimately, as humans, we respond well to that. They use emotive language. They go after your psyche and tell you that what you have now is not good enough. It will never be good enough. How can you be happy playing down there? That's the low-hanging fruit. So they create this false sense, this false need in you. And then they'll tell you by using this method, they've been able to buy 100 Lamborghinis or whatever it is. And people buy into it. They're going, oh God, yeah, actually, I'm so small, aren't I? I don't like that. I could be so much more. And yes, absolutely, you could be so much more. But that's your narrative. That's your narrative to control, not someone else's. When you buy into that nonsense, you give that person your power. When you control the narrative, it's your power, it's your narrative. You decide what's good enough for you. You decide what success is. So coming back to marketing. So you know how it goes. You see the scheme, you click the link, you go on there and you think, oh, wow, I've got to read 900 pages to get to the point to see how much money they're actually going to want. And you go through that method, you watch the webinar, whatever it is, and then you go through, you think, you know what, why not? They're saying a free discovery, no commitment required call. So you think, you know, what have I got to lose? Let's book that call. You go on to that call and it's all very chitty chatty. It's all very nice. Hey, Ash, how you doing? Great, great. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so stoked. I'm so pumped to talk to you today. I really love your business. I really love what you're all about. Thanks for taking the time to fill in the forms and all of that. And they ask you questions about your business. And you go, so where are you at with your business right now? Yeah, I've got 5 clients, making a couple of grand a month. I've got enough money to pay the bills, get to go out and hang out with friends and that. Yeah, things are all right. Yeah, I'm happy with it. But do you want more? Well, yeah, some extra money would be great. Yeah, I'd love that. And how do you feel when you don't have enough money to buy your kids the presents they want? Here it comes. We start digging. you're on those calls, and it's all very subtle. It's all very subtle. The whole idea with that is to kind of create this feeling of lack. And at the end, when they're like, so let me tell you about this system. I've got this system. Do you want to hear about it? Yeah. Okay. Da, 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 da. They tell you all the magic details, all of that lovely stuff. And then they go, if I could give you that system, what difference would that make to you? What change would that facilitate in your life? You know how it goes, right? You've probably been on one of these calls. So you go, yeah, I'm interested. Why not? Why not? Yeah, actually, I'd love 100 clients. Yeah, it'd be awesome to have 20 grand in the bank every single week. That'd be awesome. Yeah, of course it bloody well would. I'd love 20 grand in the week. Who wouldn't? But, and here's where the nastiness kicks in, and the bit where your confidence is going to get shook is when they twist it, when you're not willing to buy, and they start rubbing salt in the wounds and saying, yeah, but you just told me that you'd do anything to buy all those toys for your kids. I'm offering you a system right here for 5 grand. You might not even have 5 grand, but they may have loan options for you anyway. And they rub salt in the wound. And you get these high pressure sales techniques and you start feeling really bad. And 2 things happen here. You either hang up and you feel crap and you feel like, well, maybe I should have done that. Maybe I need to think bigger. Maybe I need to develop myself more. Or you go ahead with the purchase, but it feels so uncomfortable. It feels so uncomfortable because you've gone into a situation and you're not empowered. This links back to what I said earlier on. You're not empowered. That's going to hammer your confidence. You're going to question yourself. You're going to question your business. You're going to question what you look like, who you are, whatever. And this is why a lot of what marketing does these days pisses me right off, because they're constantly twisting knives into your psyche and then rubbing salt in the wounds. And it's easy to lose sight about who we are and what actually matters to us. So as a result of that, we start losing confidence if we're carrying a couple of extra pounds, if we've only made a couple of grand that month and our target was maybe to do more. We start losing confidence in who we are. We start losing that self-belief. And it's super easy to get caught in that trap. I think we've all been there. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm immune, because that would be bullshit. Of course, I've been on marketing calls where I think, yeah, I'd love to make 10, 12, 20, 30 grand a month. The most important thing for me was to realize what was super important to me, to realize where I wanted to go with my business. Everything, I think, always needs to stem from you. What lights you up? What makes you happy? What things could you do that are fun, engaging, light you up, they're going to keep you motivated and engaged and gets those creative juices flowing and makes you feel playful? What things can you be doing in all aspects of your life that enable that? Because when you're in that zone, when you're in that place where you're feeling confident and happy and engaged and really switched on to stuff, it naturally filters out into all aspects of your life. If you feel confident within yourself, that's going to come across in your business. It's going to come across in your life. It's going to come across in the conversations you have with people. If you're enjoying the work you do, if you're creative, if you're being playful with it, if you've got a real clear idea of the people, your people, the people that you like working with, and you're working with them, you're going to get lit up. You're going to feel good. And again, that's going to filter out because you're doing stuff that makes you feel good, that builds up your confidence. You're not doing these things that the fucking gurus tell you to do. You're not going on a diet plan that you don't bloody want to do. You're eating chocolate because chocolate actually makes you feel happy. You're not eating chocolate to numb pain or deny certain things. You're eating it because you enjoy the taste, and you're going to fucking enjoy it. And you're not going to go on Weight Watchers and feel guilty for doing something that you bloody well enjoy. And this is the super most important thing, really, when it comes to confidence in the modern world, is to focus on who you are, what you're about. Don't let anyone else control that bloody narrative. It's your story. Write it. On social media, you have a blank canvas. Don't be told that you have to do this and that and do what the fucking influencers are doing. If that doesn't fit for you, if you don't believe that, if it doesn't light you up, then don't bloody do it. Do what works for you, your family, your people. That is all that ever matters. It's your story. You write it. You are awesome. Let the world know that. And on that very powerful note, it's time to ride off into the sunset, boys and girls. And on that note, it's time to ride off into the sunset. This has been your Espresso shot of confidence. And I thank you very much for listening wherever you've been, in the universe, metaverse, jungle, rainbow, or star system. To get notifications of when the latest episodes drop, be sure to subscribe to this channel wherever you're listening or watching. And all that is left to say is have a great day, week, night, life, afterlife. And as always, don't forget to be awesome.